गुरवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालय कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोकैर्भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Dear devotees doing Bhakti Vaibhav with VIHE, you are all welcome.
Recording in progress.
So we are together for upcoming say 4-5 days, and we have to discuss these two most important chapters of the 5th canto of Srimada Bhagvatam. Generally in this 5th canto, the most important subject of Srimad Bhagavatam is Sthana Leela. Sthana Leela, which means the geography and astronomy, is described in detail, and then the genealogy of the elder son of Swayambhu Manu Priyavarta, and then his son further Nabhi, and Nabhi's son Rishabdev, and then Rishabdev has 100 sons, and he has taken all those sons to the place called Brahmavarta, and he was instructing his sons in the Bhagavad Dharma. So this is particularly important because all the Varsha and the Dvipa means island, Varsha means tract of land. All the Dvip or the islands are after the name of King Priyavarta. And the particularly this Jambu Varsha in which we are living, the Bharat Varsha is named after the eldest son of Maharaj Rishabdev Maharaj Bharata, and he is also pointing to the eldest son, and then he is giving this instruction. So these first 3 verses, particularly 1, 2, 3, importance of human life is the theme. And Maharaj Rishabdev, who is incarnation of God in the 5th chapter, is asking his son, so what is your program? What you are going to do next? They say, well, as we are your son, so next we will also become king and rule and enjoy. He said this enjoyment is available in in animal life. The human life is not meant for sense enjoyment. So then this is the verse which is often quoted verse by Srila Prabhupada, Rishabdev Vacha, Nayam deho deh bhajan nirloke. Na ayam means not this. Deha means body, not this body. Deh bhaja means living entities who accept bodies. Nirloke means on this human, on this planet. Kashtan means trouble. Kaman means desires. Aharate, if you want to really enjoy those, you don't deserve. Vidbhujan means stool eaters, hogs and dogs. So this sense enjoyment, which is always troublesome for the living entity who accept the body, they should not indulge in sense enjoyment, which is easily available to the lowest animal like the hog and dog. So what should we do? Tapo divyam. Tapo means austerity and penance. Well, trees are also doing tapasya, standing in the hot season, rain. So it's not only tapo, it's divyam. Divyam means in connection with Supreme Lord, in connection with Krishna. Divyam means connected with the divine. putraka, the ka word after putraka means my dear sons, which means having a compassion. Ka is for compassion for his sons. You should do the divine austerity for attaining divine. What is the benefit? Yena sattvam shuddhyait, your existence will be purified. Yasmad, by that, Brahma Saukhyam, you will enjoy the happiness of pure soul. And that is unlimited, anantam. This temporary happiness of the body is temporary, while the happiness of the soul is eternal. Now, I have one question here. What do you mean by Sattvam Shuddhyet? Yes, Prabhu, what do you mean by Sattvam Shuddhyet?
The heart will be purified of.
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada writes Sattvam is a heart. So what actually heart means, Ajay?
Mind.
Okay. So heart is purified. Exactly, it means the, here see the line of Chakravarti Pad is writing, Antahkaran, Sattvam is Antahkaran. Inner senses. So what is the contamination of the inner senses or Antahkaran or heart? What is the contamination? That will be purified. What do you think?
Desire to enjoy.
Lust, anger, greed.
Say again.
Lust, anger, greed.
Enjoy, sense enjoyment. Oh, so usually this sense enjoyment is due to what?
Ignorance.
Say again.
Ignorance.
Ignorance is also, yes, ignorance is very good. And because of ignorance, well, ignorance is good. And why we have ignorance?
We don't have the real knowledge.
Sorry, say again.
We don't have the real knowledge.
Real knowledge. So what is covering the real knowledge? Agyan. So agyan is coming from where?
Is it from like the Shadriku, Kam, Krodha, Moha?
You are near to it. Say Kam is coming from where? Kam and Krodh is coming from where?
Adhyatma buddhi, Prabhuji.
Dehatma Buddhi is okay. Kam and Krodh is coming in Bhagavad Gita. You refer to the third chapter. Kam and Krodh is coming from where? Say again. Rajoguna Samodbhava. Now you have hit the point. The contamination of the heart is three modes of material nature. The influence of three modes of material nature. And particularly this Rajogun and Tamogun, the mode of passion and ignorance are the real contamination, and also goodness is also contamination. And now we know how one will be free from three modes of material nature. We know this from Bhagavad Gita. How can one become free from three modes of material nature?
Surrender to Krishna.
Mam Chayoga Vicharena.
Mam Chave Vicharena Bhakti Yogena Sagunan Samatita Brahm Bhuyaya Kulpati. Okay, only by devotional service. So this whole section is Bhagavad Dharma, which means devotional service. Number one. This is Prabhupada writes in a purport is a Bhagavad Dharma. And now, how this austerity, divine austerity purify? Usually the senses are purified by austerities. By austerity, senses are purified. Now they are not going to be influenced by the modes of material nature. And then what stage one gets? What stage one gets when he is undergoing the devotional service? Then Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate, right? Now at the stage of Brahma, what are the characteristics? Read the Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, Brahma Bhuta.
Bhuta Prasanatma.
So he is now having unlimited happiness, Prasannatma. So what actually Nrsimhadev is saying that by this divine austerity, which means devotional service or Bhagavad Dharma, that will purify your subtle body, which is also called antahkarana. By the way, I am asking you this question. You have, I think, fourth canto finished, right? What are the how many parts of the subtle body are there?
Mind, intelligence, false ego, and consciousness.
And polluted consciousness. Yeah, chitta, but chitta which is polluted by three modes of material nature, right? And who is the presiding deity for each of these four part of the our antahkarana or the subtle body? From fourth canto, you remember these four?
So for the mind, it is Aniruddha.
Okay.
For intelligence, it is Pradyumna.
Right.
For the false ego, it is Sankarshan.
Right.
And for the chit, it is Vasudeva.
Right. So now if Sankarshan is also for false ego, is somebody else's false ego too? One who worships Sankarshan, who is that? Lord Shiva.
Not Shiva.
Lord Shiva is also. And the mind is Aniruddha, and who is else is for the mind? Chandrama. Moon, Chandrama, Moon, Manso, Jato. So they are the presiding deity for these four parts of the internal senses. Anta means internal senses, means Karana means senses, right? So now we understood that Srila Prabhupada writes here in a purport, which is everything is here. The first Deha Bhak, which means one who has accepted the material body. So human life means voluntarily suffering in the life, voluntarily practicing suffering for advancement in spiritual life, which means tapo divyam putraka. Advancement in spiritual life is divyam, and practicing suffering means tapo divyam, tapo. There is of course suffering in the lives of the animals and plants, that is Chakravarti Pad writes, particularly trees. However, human beings should voluntarily accept suffering in the form of asking parents in order to attain divine life. It means life connected with divine, which means Supreme Lord. And what is eternal happiness? Going back to Godhead. And Srila Prabhupada writes this: without Krishna consciousness, a person is no better than a hog or dog. And then Prabhupada is here depicting the modern man's life. A man travel, earn livelihood. This you can see. Read this is simply. And then Srila Prabhupada quoting 7th canto of Bhagavatam. Yan maithune adi grahamedi sukham hi tucham. So human beings should try to live in a different way and should not try to imitate dogs and hogs. The alternative is mentioned. What is the alternate? By taking bhakti, yoga, or devotional service. That is tapodivyam. Once existence is purified. So bhakti yoga is only the solution. So Bhagavad Gita says, Janam karam cha me divyam evam yoga. So divyam, why Prabhupada has quoted this verse? To establish the divine austerity means understanding the janam and karma of Krishna, that they are divine. So tapo divyam, the word divyam, for that Prabhupada has given this shlok. This verse, janam karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tatvata tyakta devam punarjanmrayati mameti suarjana. Now Chakravarti Pada has given this very simple thing here. I think I just told these few things which are here. Krishna Sandrabh has same thing by Jiva Goswami. Now the second verse in that same thought, connection with the previous verse, from human body one can gain deliverance or fall down. So it is a transition. Now you have two options. Either you go on the elevation back to Godhead, or you can glide down to the hell. So that is the second verse. So first two lines establishes the elevation, and the two next line discuss how somebody can fall down. Mahat sevam dwaram ahu vimukti. Mahat seva means serving the great devotees, Mahabhagavata. And what is the, by the way, I am asking you this question, what is the service to the Bhagavata? How can we render service to the Bhagavata?
By following their instructions.
By following their instruction. Very good. Yes. What else? How they give instruction? By their discourses. Hearing Mahatma is service to the Mahatma. Mahat Sevya means hearing from the self-realized souls. Mahat Sevya actually means hearing from self-realized souls. Dwaram means door, ahur means said. Vimukti has two, our purport has two meaning to the vimukti. Vim means special, mukti means liberation. There are two types of liberation. One liberation is for Gyanis. One liberation is for Gyanis, and the other liberation is for devotee. So Vimukti in our purport has two aspects. One is for the impersonalist and other is for personalist. Now this is the first line, elevation. Second line, tamo dwaram. Tamo dwaram. Tamo means actually ignorance, which also means hell. Dwaram means door. Yoshitam, sangi sangam. Now these two lines you must carefully understand. Yoshitam sangi sangam means associating with the people who are too much attached to the woman. Not association of woman. Can you see this? How it Yoshitam sangam sangi sangam. One who is too attached to the woman, one should avoid his association. It doesn't mean that you avoid the association of mother, sister, or they are also women, but it's not like that. Those who are attached to the illegitimate attached to the woman. Stri, say Yoshita means stri, Sangi means attached, Sangam means associating with them. Hare Krishna. कैसे जाएगा?
कहीं नहीं लगाऊं तो ये गाड़ी सी है।
ये उसको देनी है ना?
हाँ।
ठीक है तो को दोबारा में चल सकते हो परेशान नहीं हो। Hare Krishna. Sorry. So now next say, now this next line has Mahanta. Mahanta means same Mat, the great souls. They are Samachitta, they have an equal vision. Prashanta, they are completely peaceful. Vimanya, they are free from anger. Manyu means anger. Sohirda, they are well-wisher. Sadhva, they have no any objectionable behavior. So these are the characteristics. In these characteristics, some are for the devotees, some are common for both. So now here we have this translation is like this. It is said, Ahu, service to saintly person, Mahat Seva. is the cause dwaram of two type of liberation, vimukti. Whereas association with men who associate with woman, yoshitam sangam sangi, is the cause of bondage, tamodwaram. The impersonalist, te mahanta, is an impersonalist. See no difference, samchitta, and is peaceful, prashanta. Whereas devotees, te mahanta, has a sincere heart, samachitta, and his intelligence is fixed in me, prashanta. Both type of saintly person, ye, are devoid of anger, vimunyoho, are friendly, suhrda, and do not see fault in others, sadhava. So there's a difference between the impersonal and personalist in three things, and three things are common to both. This is Chakravarti Path is writing like that. Is it clear? Now Srila Prabhupada's purport. Human body is like a junction. Now from here we can go to Godhead or to the hell. There are two type of mahantas. Now this is for the mahantas, which are the two type, impersonal and devotee. The ultimate goal is different. And what is the ultimate goal? The process of emancipation is almost the same. Both want eternal happiness. One seek happiness in impersonal Brahma and the other seek happiness in association with Supreme Personality Godhead. As it's described in, now see, they are connecting this happiness of the two type of manta from the first verse. And what is in the first verse? Brahma Sokhyam. So that Brahma here means spiritual or eternal. Both are impersonal and devotees seek eternal blissful life. In any case, it is advised that one become perfect. So the Brahma for the impersonal is Brahma Jyoti, and Brahma for the devotees is the association of the Supreme Lord. In the words of Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, now this Prabhupada is speaking about Yoshita Sangi Sangam. Now Prabhupada's purport from Mahantas is coming to the next word, Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. So what is that? Asat Sang Tyag Ei Vaishno Achar. What is Asat Sang? There are two types. Istri Sangi, again Istri Sangi, not Istri. Ek, one, Asadhu, non-devotees. Krishna Bhakta are. To remain unattached to the modes of material nature, one should avoid associating with those who are asat. Asat means materialistic. So who are the materialistic? Two kinds of materialist. One is attached to the woman and sense gratification, and the other is simply non-devotee. One, say on the positive side is association with the mahantas, and on the negative side is avoidance of non-devotees and women. So this is the Chakravarti Pad writes, from the human body one can gain deliverance or fall down. The cause for both lies in the human body. Association with saintly is a door to different type of liberation. It was mentioned in the previous verse that one attains the infinite happiness, Brahma Sokhyam. So Brahma has two types, impersonal and personal. Thus the V indicate variety of liberation, merging and becoming associate of Lord. So Mahanta also means two variety of saints, worshipper of impersonal Brahman and worshipper of Bhagavan. Their different qualities are described in double language. Samachitta means one who sees no difference, impersonalist. Everything is one. And one whose heart is sincere, the devotee. That is the another meaning of Samachitta. Prashanta means one who is peaceful. And the devotee who, this is the meaning for the impersonalist. And the meaning for the devotee is devotee whose intelligence is fixed in Lord. That is the meaning of Prashanta. Samo mana nishtata buddhe. Sama means intelligence fixed in me. So Samachitta, Sama means intelligence fixed in me. Now this is from the Srimada Bhagvatam 11th canto 19th chapter verse number 36. Vimananya, Suhrata and Sadhva are the common for both. Sadhu means those who do not see fault in others. Are also those, Vimanyu are also those who will not become angry when we preach. People may offend us, but one who is not going to become angry is called Vimanya. So this is the commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Other thoughts same as Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela. Now we are going to the next verse number 3, connection with the previous verse. Among two type of Mahanta, devotees are superior, their qualities are now described. So the third verse describe the devotee Mahanta, Mahant Sevaya. So this verse is speaking about the devotee's characteristic. Ye va maishi kirta sohirda artha janeshu dihambar vartikeshu greshu jaya atmaja rati matsu na priti yukta yavad arthas chaloke. Ye va mai isha, those who so if you want really, if you have this thing like that, see here, the devotee ye have made their goal of life affection for me. Maya kirt sohird artha. Maya, for me, kirt sohird artha, their goal of life is to attend me. The Lord, Ishe, and do not show affection. Na priti yukta. For persons, Janeshu, who enjoy talk about people attached to eating and drinking. They ambhara vartikeshu. And they who have houses, wives, son and wealth, they have greshu jaya atmaja ratimasu. They remain in their house simply to spend their money on glorifying the Lord. Yavad arthas tache arthas chaloke. So this is the way actually the whole Sanskrit is if you read it, it is a sentence and the meaning is there. Srila Prabhupada writes, those who are interested in reviving Krishna consciousness and increasing their love of God do not like to do anything that is not related to Krishna. They are not interested in mingling with the people who are busy maintaining their bodies, eating and sleeping, mating and defending. They are not attached to their homes, although they may be householder. Nor they attached to the wives, children, friend and wealth. At the same time, they are not indifferent to the execution of their duties. Such people are interested in collecting only enough money to keep the body and soul together. Now we have Srila Prabhupada's purport. Prabhupada saying whether it is an impersonalist or devotee, one who is actually interested in advancing spiritually should not mingle with those who are simply interested in maintaining body by means of so-called advancement of civilization. Even if one is grasta and has to earn his livelihood, he should be satisfied by collecting only enough money to maintain body and soul together. One should not have more than nor less than that. You see, more than and less than that is any verse you can remember in Bhagavad Gita. Is a more or less, something like that, what it means. Say yukta ahar viharasya yukta karma. So it should be not too much, not too less. So it's like balance. Is it too less again, then you will be always in anxiety, even for the service of the Lord at the home. If you have too much, then you will be intoxicated. So generally it says in eligibility for devotional service, if one is too much attached to the wealth, then he is fit for karma yoga, he is not fit for devotion. And if he is too detached, he don't need anything, then he is not fit for devotion. He is fit only for gyaan. You know this in Nectar of Devotion, we say eligibility for Uttam Bhakti. Too attached is only eligible for karma. Too detached is only available, too detached is only eligible for gyaan. One who is not too attached, not too detached is aware, only he is the one who is eligible for devotion. So this is the eligibility. Yes, Prabhu. You have some questions?
Elaborate on this attached with wife, children, friends, everyone.
So it is coming next. I think in purport we'll see. He is feeling that all this family is good, that they are assisting me in service of God. They are not for my enjoyment, but they are assistant to me in service of the God. We collectively can do better service, like if you whole family can do kirtan, somebody is playing mridanga, somebody is playing kartal, somebody is singing, somebody is giving parvachan, then the family is wonderful. Now, when we are discussing this family, again, you should go and refer to Bhagavad Gita, say 13th chapter, where there are 18 qualifications, say gyaan, in those gyaan there are although these words, graha adishu, putra graha dara, and there Srila Prabhupada in purport has sent 4 things. He said 4 things. If Grasta has 4 things, number 1, if he keep a deity in the home or an altar in the home, number 1. Number 2, he cook and offer the prasad to the deity. Number 3, he chant holy name and do kirtan. And number 4, he read Gita and Bhagavad. If he does these 4 things as a grasta, then there is no attachment. This is in the Bhagavad Gita. These 4 things for the grastas is the house become Vaikuntha, no problem. So you can quote that purport from Bhagavad Gita. This is the, I think verse number 8, from 8 to chapter, 8 to 12 or something. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Ratna Swami.
Yes, Prabhuji, you said that devotee should not be totally detached also. So what is meant by detachment means that?
Prabhupada used to say we should not be careless. It's not that is a sort of gyani's characteristic, that is too detached from the world. If you are too detached, then you will not have the emotion. If you have no emotion, then you are not fit for bhakti. You need actually the bhava, and with detachment, with complete detachment, bhavas will never come up. So this is what in Nectar of Devotion we read. Too detachment, so it make the heart very hard and callous, and then there no bhav. No bhav, and no bhav means no devotion. And therefore we have there in Nectar of Devotion we have this one statement, Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya is our detachment. Anything which is not useful for Krishna, we are not attached. If anything which is useful for Krishna, we are attached. If the female family is useful and helping for Krishna consciousness, that's a Yukta Vairagya, no problem. If they are a problem, then keep yourself away from them.
Yes. So whatever is favorable, we'll deal with that. Whatever unfavorable, we'll just neglect that.
Yeah, that's called Yukta Vairagya, is actually a sort of detachment for a devotee. So now, Srila Prabhupada's purport here says, as indicated here, a householder should endeavor to earn money for the execution of Bhakti Yoga. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Samaranam, Pada, Sevanam. So this is the purpose of a household life. Householder should lead such a life that he gets full opportunity to hear and chant. Now this is a good test for you all. What do you think? You think about these 2 lines. We should get the opportunity to hear and chant in a household. If this is not possible, then it is a problem. To hear means to hear the Mahanta Sevaya. It means to hear Krishna Katha. And to chant means to chant our rounds and also do kirtan. And usually the family is helping to do kirtan, that is the best. And then he should worship the deity at home. Prabhupada is writing same thing. he should observe the festival, invite friends, and give them the prasad. A household should earn money for this purpose, not for sense gratification. So anything, you see, now when Prabhupada is writing this, somehow Prabhupada is also thinking that when I was child, in my family, my father gave me small Rath Yatra chariot. I invited my classmates to come. Then my father used to invite every day some saintly person to take prasad at home. So when Prabhupada is writing these things, basically in his mind, what he has seen, that he is writing in his own family. Can you see this? In this line, when Prabhupada is writing this, he's practically seen everything in his own practical life. Is right? Your festival, inviting friends, this is the purpose of human life. So this is the interesting, actually, do we have a time for hearing and chanting in Grahastha life? That is actually a sort of question we should ask ourselves. And most of the Grahasthas are really very much under pressure and stress about these two accomplishments of hearing and chanting. Right or wrong? It's not easy, really.
Yeah.
Somehow this Bhakti Vaibhav is a good way for you to hear somehow or other as a compulsory thing, right? And kirtan actually means when you read yourself, that is kirtan. So you are also chanting when you read these books. This morning Prabhupada's quote was read in a temple was that chanting does not mean only chanting, but reading books is also chanting. So now you are hearing and chanting both. So it means the student should be eager, the devotee should be eager to do this educational aspect of Krishna consciousness, study Prabhupada's books. Now Chakravarti Pad has written, Chakravarti Pad has taken this verse as a characteristic of a devotee. The extraordinary quality of a second type of person means devotee are described. Those devotees who have their goal, artha, priti for me, priti means love for me, the Lord. They do not consider anything else as a goal of life. Sridhar Swami explained that the word va indicates that devotee is indifferent to everything else. It means priority. Now I am just saying one thing here. Priority in our life should be to awaken love of Krishna, Radha Krishna. This is the goal of our life. Why we have joined Krishna conscious movement? To awaken love of God. And anything else is secondary. So this should be the priority and the determined goal of all the devotees. I used to tell to the devotees that you write in your visible place in your home that I have joined Krishna consciousness to awaken love of Krishna. This is my goal. Anything else I am doing is it's just to assist me to reach to that goal. But that is my first goal. Sometimes we start with this goal and then we forget this goal. And then we think, well, to become, president is maybe my goal, to become some important leader is my goal. No, that's not our goal. So this Chakravarti Pad is simply writing Preeti for Lord. Preeti for Lord. Krishna Prem is our goal. Sridhar Swami thinks is different to anything. It means all other things are secondary. They are not attached to those who enjoy living or discussing with person attached to maintaining the body. With eating, enjoying, living or discussing with person attached to maintaining body with eating and drinking. Who have houses with wives, children and wealth. Rati. Why do the devotee remain in their house? That is a question. Answer. Since they can perform bhakti, they only live in the house because they can perform bhakti, such as serving the Lord's feet, which require wealth. By that wealth, they possess in family life. They remain in their house. The word tavat should be supplied along with yavat. It means as long as one is able to serve the Lord and his devotees, he can live in the house. If he is not able to do that, then he should give it up. Now our first section is over, the importance of the human life. Now we have second section verse 4 to 6, ending transmigrating cycle. Now Rishabdev is speaking how to end the repeated birth and death. Connection with the previous verse, Rishabdev stated that those persons who are attached to woman will fall down. He illustrates this and lament for those people. So now this verse is speaking about those who are gliding down the drain to the tama or the hell. Nyonam pramatha kurote vikrama yadindriya pritya pranoti nasadu manya yata atmanoyam asannapi kalesh dasa deha. This is interesting. Now for this, again I am just giving you simple this formula. The inattentive jeev, ayam pramatha atmanaha. Atmana means living entity. Pramatha means inattentive and ayam means he. Become absorbed in action for pleasure of the senses, indriya priti apnoti, and thus engage in sin, nyunam kurute vikrama, by which yata he receive another body there, which gives suffering, kleshada, and which actually does not belong to the jeev at all, asadapi. I do not consider such action proper, na sadhu manya. Now Srila Prabhupada is writing, when a person considers sense gratification the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engage in all kinds of sinful activity. So basically, Srila Prabhupada, even in translation, is giving purport. He has already received a body which, although temporary, is the cause of his misery. Actually, living entity should not have taken on material body, but he has been awarded material body for such gratification. Therefore, I think means Rishabdev thinks, not befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again in activity of sense gratification, by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after other. Now, here purport Srila Prabhupada writes, the Charvak philosophy. This verse is Charvak philosophy. Beg, borrow or steal. Get money and enjoy life. This is called Charvak philosophy. To live for sense gratification is condemned in this verse because such consciousness lead one to dark, hellish condition. What are these four vikrama? These four things are the four rules of the four, what's called regulations, not to do. No illicit sex, no meat eating, no interaction, no get. These are the means by which one gets another material body, and that is full of miseries. So I think the best line to understand that why we are asking people to give up these four bad habits are vikrama. They are vikrama because they lead to another body which gives misery. In the Vedas it is said, this is about the word asangohi ayam purusha, means this living entity has no relation with material body. This is asadapi, that is the meaning. So for that Srila Prabhupada has quoted this. The living entity is not really connected with this material world, but due to his tendency to enjoy the material senses, he is put into the material condition. One should perfect his life by associating with devotees. He should not become further implicated in the material body. One should perfect his life by associating with devotees. Anybody can say something on this line? One should perfect his life by associating with devotees. जन्म सार्थक करी
लव मात्र साधु संग सर्व सिद्धि होए
लव मात्र साधु जन्म सार्थक करी कर परोपकार जन्म सार्थक is perfection. Now in one of the first canto in one of the purport Srila Prabhupada writes Janam Sarthak means to have Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad as a Krishna Katha to perfect your life. In one of the purport in first canto. It means sadhu sang is to read Gita and Bhagavad. That is the way to perfect life. And then how you do paropkar? Because now you have learned the Gita and Bhagavad from a sadhu sang. Now you preach this, that is paropkar. This is a practical application of the verse by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Janam sarthak kari, how can we do? By associating with devotee. What we learn from them? Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad. And then we will get our life perfected. Then what we should do? Then we should help the other people and become compassionate and deliver them also. Is it okay? Anybody has a question or comment? Chakravarti part has almost same thing, Srila Prabhupada. The purport there's not much difference. He already stated that those persons who are attached to woman fall down. He illustrated this and lament for those persons. He means Rishabdev. When a person acts for sense pleasure, he engages himself in sinful activities like enjoying others' wives. Because of previous sin, yata, one attains present body, which gives suffering. With this body, one again performs sinful acts. I do not consider this proper. Na sadhu manya. This body does not actually belong to the jiva. Asanapi atmanaha. The Shruti says, Asango hi ayam purusha. The jiva is not associated with the material body. This is from Brahda Aranakya Upanishad 4.3.15. Kamanarthati Sapam. Okay, this is a Bhavartha Deepika is by Sridhar Swami. This is in Sanskrit. It's still translated by somebody. Karam Sandrab is by Jiva Goswami. It's not, he had only 2 lines. Vikrama atra kamyam karmana deho api manushya deha eva. So this is the Sanskrit which says in a human life one should avoid doing sinful activities. I think this much was our course today, but if you want to discuss something or we should continue the verse number 5. I think verse number 5 we have to do today. Connection with the previous verse. If sin leads to bondage, then shouldn't one do pious activities? Now this verse says both sin and pious are bondage. Pious is a golden shackle and the sin is a iron shackle, but both are bondage. Prabhavas Tavad abodh jato yavan na jigyaset atma tattvam yavat kriyas tavat idam manovai karma atmakam yena sarira bandha. Karma atmakam is most important word. They say rag atmak, we know rag atma bhakta. It means they have attachment to Krishna. So these are the person who they have attachment only to karma. Ragatmik, karmatmik. Now I read this like this. Hare Krishna. As long as the Jeev does not inquire about Atma, Yavad na jigyasat Atma Tattvam, he remains in bondage. Tavat prabhavaha. Prabhava means bondage. And how the bondage is by what? Created by ignorance, abodha jata. As long as one performs pious or sinful action, yavat kiya. Kiya is both. Kiya means action. Action is also pious and action is also impious. The mind remains absorbed in action. Tavad idam mano vai karmatmakam. By this, the bondage to repeated bodies continue. Yena sharira bandha. So, summary of this verse is both sin and piety lead to bondage. Therefore, inquire into the self. Srila Prabhupada writes, generally, people think that one should act very piously in order to be delivered from the misery, but this is not a fact. Even though one engages in pious activity and speculation, so Prabhupada is writing these two words, what does this mean? Pious activity means karma kand, and speculation means gyani. He is nonetheless defeated. His only aim should be emancipation from cultures of Maya and all material activities. Speculative knowledge, gyaan, and pious activities, karma, do not solve the problem of material life. One should be in quest to understand the spiritual position, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 4:37. Now, how the both pious and impious activities are destroyed, this is the verse quoted. Yathaye indhansi samido agni bhasamsat kurote arjun gyaan agni sarva karmani bhasamsat kurote tatha. As a blazing fire turns firewood to ashes, O Arjun, so does the fire of knowledge burns to ashes all reaction to material activities. Unless one understands the self and its activities, this is important. Unless one understands the self is okay. So many jnanis, they know I am Atma, but they don't know what is the activity of the Atma. And its activity. And what are the activities of Atma? One has to consider in material bondage. One has to be considered in material bondage. So unless one understands self and its activity, he is in material bondage. So what are the activities of the self? I think this is a very simple question.
Krishna Jivara Sarvabhauma Krishna.
Jivara Sarvabhauma Krishna Das. Actually, soul by nature is active, so we cannot be inactive. So the soul must be engaged in a positive activity. And the positive activity is devotional service. That is the swarup of a jiva, or a constitutional position of a jiva. In Srimada Bhagvatam 10:32, this is the common verse Srila Prabhupada quote, the Mayavadi fall down. They falls down, that's it. Ye anya arvind aksha vimukta manina tvai asat bhavad avishuddha buddhya. A person who does not have knowledge of devotional service may think himself liberated, but actually he is not. Actually the verse is ye anya, the others, not the devotee. Arvind aksha means the Lord who has the lotus eyes. Vimukta manina, they think we are liberated. Tvai, you Lord. Asat bhavat, they have still attachment to the matter. Avishuddha, they are not purified. Buddhaya, they are intelligent. But actually he is not. Aruya khirchena param padam tat patanti adhau. Though they think that we are self-realized, we have done so many austerities. Patanti adhau, they fall down. Why? Anadrit yushmit angri, because they offend your lotus feet. Such people may approach the impersonal Brahma effulgence, but they fall down again into the material enjoyment because they have no knowledge of devotional service. As long as one is interested in karma and gyaan, now those words Prabhupada is giving technical word for the pious activities and spiritual knowledge. he continue enduring miseries of material life, birth, old age. Karmis certainly take on one body another. But as far as Jnanis is concerned, unless they are promoted to topmost understanding, they must return to material. So what is topmost understanding? Prabhupada quote this verse. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanvan mam prapadyante vasudev sarvamiti samatma sadurlabha. Karmis do not know this. Now Srila Prabhupada says why one should give up the pious activities and spiritual knowledge. Prabhupada is quoting this verse. Anya bilashita sunyam gyaan karma adhyan avirtam. Just for the uttam bhakti, they are obstacle. Chakravarti Pais writes, then one should perform pious acts, since pious acts are also a cause of sansar, which means repeated birth and death, and thus cause suffering. One should engage in gyaan, which destroys sin, and piety. Dependence on karma or bondage of the jiva prabhava is produced from ignorance. This remains as long as one does not inquire about Atma. Gyaan agnis sarva karmani bhasamsat kurute arjuna. As long as knowledge does not arise, karma are not destroyed. As long as pious and sinful acts remain, mind will remain absorbed in action. Because of the mind absorbed in action, bondage to bodies continue. So this is the today's our, I think, assignment up till verse number 5. And verse 6 is also in this section in that case, because this is ending the transmigrating cycle. So I heard that some of the devotee have to leave by 7:30. So what do you think? They have already left. Some were supposed to leave by 7:30. So in one sense, we have completed the assignment for today up till 5 verses. So tomorrow we have to go till 20 verses. What do you think? You have any question or comment? Or we should just 6 verses in the same section. Then we have a next section. And the next section is cutting through the knots of illusion. So that will go 7, 8, 9 verses. So this one, verse 6 we can do. What do you suggest?
Yes, Babaji.
No, some have left already, 7:30. Yeah, I think.
You can do it.
No, I think they're still there. I think we can do 6 and then we can stop.
Okay, all right. Everybody agrees?
Yes.
Evam manah karam vasam priyunkte avidyatmani upadhiyamane preter nayavanmai vasudeve na muccheta deha yogena tavat. Yavat and tavat means as long as. So here we can see through Chakravarti Pad's translation. Thus, karma make the mind fixed upon further action. Evam, in this way. Manaha means mind. Karma vasam. Vasam means actually is bound. It's complete. Vasam means under control. Mind is under control of doing karma. Since the jiva is engaged in action, atmane prayunkate. And atmane means jiva. Prayunkte means engaged. By ignorance, avidya. Having accepted a subtle body, upadhiyamane. Upadhiyamane means subtle body. Because our transmigration from one to other body is by subtle body. Upadhiyamane. As long as he does not have devotion for me, Vasudev. Yavat na priti mai Vasudev. He will not be liberated from body. Tavat na muccheta deha yogen. So Srila Prabhupada writes, when the living entity is covered by mode of ignorance, he does not understand the individual living being and the supreme living being. And his mind is subjugated to fruitive activity. Therefore, until one has love for Lord Vasudeva, who is none other than myself, he is certainly not delivered from having to accept a material body again and again. So the solution to give up the material body or transmigration is learn to love Vasudeva. So summary of the verse is, thus the mind is subjugated by karma. Liberation can be achieved by love for Vasudeva. Srila Prabhupada's purport. By acting on platform of fruitive activity, one wanders throughout the universe in different species and form. Unless he come in contact with devotee of Lord, a guru, he does not become attached to the service of the Lord Vasudeva. So Srila Prabhupada is giving solution how we can develop preeti for Vasudeva. So Srila Prabhupada is quoting actually Chaitanya Charitamrita that ब्रह्मांड भ्रमिते कोई भागीवान जीव गुरु कृष्ण प्रसादे पाए भक्ति लता बीज. So basically, if Krishna blesses somebody, then he will get the association of devotee, and by that association he will develop Vasudeva Preeti, and then he will be free from transmigration of the soul from one body to other body. Srila Prabhupada is quoting again, the gyaan here means Vasudev Sarvamiti Samatma Sadurlabha. Now Chakravarti Pad writes, how does the mind become absorbed in action? Ancient or recent karma makes the mind fixed in action, karma vasam. Ancient means old. Recent means, actually ancient means prarabdha from last life. And recent means of this life. Make the mind fixed in action, karma vasam. We are bound by karma. We are controlled by karma. In this way, the mind becomes absorbed in action. One becomes absorbed in the object upon which one depends. However, the action of the liberated soul are excluded from this analysis. While the jiva is engaged by ignorance with a covering of the subtle body, he will remain with the material body as long as the bhakti, which uproot all karma, does not appear. So here, almost we have finished today's assignment, and I think we'll do same 1.5 hours or something, because you have less time and I am also only free after 6. I have 4 to 6 some class. So I am somehow, it's a de facto, I am here with you for these 2 chapters. Hare Krishna. Any question or comment?
Yes, sir. That you do.
Anyway, I was also missing your association from last 3rd canto. In 4th canto, I was traveling last year, whole year I was traveling, so somehow the time was not matching. His 5th canto also, they offered me some portion, but I was traveling. But this Krishna has arranged something for a few days we are together. Any question or comment?
Prabhu, I have one question.
Yes?
Prabhu, like we see in shastras and even in everything that sense gratification is totally condemned. Even we see Vachavega, Manasakrodha, it means totally control the mind and senses. It's already there. So what it is sinful activities is, it is what we do against the shastras is condemned, or like we have family, we have a grahastha ashram. So what is condemned is when we have greedy for the material things is condemned, or totally it's condemned. That's what I want my questions. Because also in other sense we see that one has to progress in devotion life, one has to do a lot of tapasya and austerity. So where we will sacrifice, and what is exactly the line Prabhu here?
See, this is something which most of the shastra, which Vyasadeva has compiled, which are prevalent in the society since time immemorial, are on karma kand. So most of our parents and the atmosphere we live around us, they have a goal to go to the heaven and enjoy more. The whole human race has a a goal to go to heaven and enjoy more. This is the real problem of the whole society. Therefore, Devrishi Narad was telling Vyasadeva, you had made a mistake. You have given them the heaven as a goal, so now they will not really be more interested in going back to home, back to Godhead. So basically this concept of Prabhupada once wrote the purport on the heaven, particularly in the 8th canto when Bali Maharaj was going to the heaven for conquer. He saw the beautiful description of heaven Prabhupada wrote. When the devotees who were editing, they get together and they were saying, wow, this is heaven, so nice. Prabhupada overheard this. So he called that, bring the manuscript here. And then he tore that manuscript, he threw it in the dustbin. He wrote only 2 lines. Heaven may be good, but we have nothing to do with it. So this is a problem basically, that this is sort of inbuilt in us, even from the Vedic point of view, going to the heaven. So to be really interested in a loving Vasudeva Preeti, we have to accept a bona fide spiritual master who is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati writes, one who know the Krishna Tattva. Je Krishna Tattva sei Guru hoy. It means we have to accept the spiritual master who is a Krishna Bhakta. Then there is a possibility of understanding at least difference between what the enjoyment is and what the austerity is. And we have to see the spiritual master, which we accept, how austere he is. And we should learn from him as an acharya. He is an acharya, he established the standard, and then it is easy for us to follow. So therefore there is a need for a society, like a society of a devotees, how they live together with a simple living and higher thinking, then the things can change. But basically speaking, in Krishna consciousness, we are 50% successful, definitely. We have a beautiful, gorgeous temple and a nice temple worship that is very wonderful all over the world. We are very famous and very popular in distributing books as a Sankirtan. But somehow nowadays we are a little lazy in doing Harinam Sankirtan. But we have not developed the communities based on simple living and higher thinking. Yes, we have the 50% unfinished work of Srila Prabhupada. Communities where we should really, my personal, realization is that we all devotees are, like 50-50, like we live a 50% life in a modern way and 50% we are devotee. So it is very difficult for us to live an austere life because we are too used to the modern comforts. So if we have the next generation from the childhood, the devotees from a birth trained in that atmosphere, then we can have a next generation with a divine tapa for a eternal happiness. So this is something which Prabhupada wanted, but somehow some devotees are trying, but I don't know, everybody is, they think of their children as long as they are in school. Once they are out of the school, they forget that. So family is not a problem. You see, out of 12 Mahajans, say 6 Mahajan are Grasta. Our own Parampara, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is not only Grasta with 11 children, but he was a magistrate in the British government and he has written so many books and he's one of the Goswamis. Even our own spiritual, say founder Acharya is a Grasta. He lived almost 60 years in a Grasta life. What is the problem? The problem is our priority. Is our priority Krishna Prema or priority something else? That is actually the goal. We have almost half of our, even our own line, half of our saintly people, they lived in the family life and then they left. Then afterwards they left when it was necessary and it was desired. So good association is important. If we have some society, some setup where we can really practice spiritual life as Srila Prabhupada has given us, then it is possible.
Yes, bro. Yes, Prabhupada, like what I feel, bro, like whatever the Prabhupada has given, everything is very nice. Everything means more of goodness. But to go back to means to spiritual progress, we need a real, very great tapasya, right, Prabhu?
I would say the only thing is that we don't have a person for whom we should work. See, it's like we don't have a spiritual personality who inspire us that we should, like Prabhupada was a personality, everybody was doing everything for Prabhupada. They forgot their youth. When Prabhupada started, all were young and they forgot their youth and they were completely dedicated to the service, because we need really like a spiritual master in which we can see that he is helping us in advancing a spiritual life, and we can dedicate our life to such a person. Such personalities right now we don't have in abundance all around us that make us really inspire for more spiritual understandings. I can see personally for whom we are working, for whom we are doing, for what purpose. Where is that person to whom we want to please?
No clear goal, Prabhu, like a time.
We have to please Krishna, but to please Krishna, we have to please the devotee of Krishna. So we need such devotee of Krishna who really inspire us, and then we can do like that. And in Prabhupada's life, we can see like that. You agree with me? I don't know. What is your idea? Anybody else want to say something? They saw Prabhupada was so simple. He has 2 dhotis and 2 kurta. When he went there, he was sleeping on a chatrai. He lived a very simple life. They saw that this is a person, he has a genuine dedication to the purpose. And he, his life was so simple and it was open book for everybody. And his scholarship was so commanding that everybody surrendered to him. And we don't have right now such a spiritual enriched atmosphere. But is it? I'm not saying we don't have many saintly people, but we have. But we are so widespread that we don't have. Prabhupada was 1 hour, say 1 month giving association to devotees, continuously living with them. Do we have somebody right now spending 2-3 months together with the devotees to inspire us? No. Right? We need, the person who has a spiritual, potency and power and has a desire to empower the devotees to do something. Prabhupada, even said 2-3 years in a movement, he empowered an open center. Go, you become the temple president, you become the leader, you become GBC. Now for the last 50 years, the empowerment is not actually, because more empowerment, then you will see that I have responsibility, I should be responsible, then I should be exemplary. So these are a couple of things which really in a society are going little, slow, so everything is slow. This is what my observation is. With all the good news that we are spreading all over the world, but it's like Prabhupada used to say, it is the time to boil the milk. We are being a little bit diluted now. The most of our sadhana and everything is diluted. There may be a need a little bit to boil the milk again. Hare Krishna.
In the same line, Prabhuji, we have to become free from fruitive desires, fruitive activities. Like which is the subject of the verse. As long as one is absorbed in fruitive activities, he has to accept a material body. The fruitive is I am interested in enjoying the results of my karma.
So as long as we do karma, we have to get the fruit. And we have to get the fruit, we have to enjoy with the body.
So as long as we are busy with unless we offer the fruits to Krishna, which requires a lot of faith.
It is a lot of faith, like if you see the person, he has given everything to Krishna and still he is very happy and he's enjoying, then we can do also that. And Prabhupada is like that person who has given up everything, and then we saw that this is a person now, everybody, the wife cannot be. I usually go to the people and say, to be a preacher in Krishna consciousness is also a one profession. Like you are engineer or doctor or MBA. This is better than all those, and so many vacancies are there. You go and travel and preach Krishna consciousness, then that you don't need anything. Everything is provided by Krishna. You don't have to, depend on any master, some material master. Krishna is your master, and you are free from all the anxiety. And we have so many people also like that in the movement. They are living like that, and it's possible. It's possible, actually speaking, that we just depend upon Krishna, and Krishna will provide, provided we preach. Prabhupada said, preach the all material necessities which we need for keeping life and soul together are byproduct of preaching. If you preach, everything is automatically provided. You have not to endeavor for that. So the basic thing is we have to see the example in front of our eyes. If somebody is dedicated like that, then we can also, inspire to do that.
Very good.
Anyway, it takes time really to do it. Basically, one devotee I usually discuss with him, he said, most of all us are at a Adho Shraddha stage. Mostly we are at a Adho Shraddha stage. So unearthed nivritti is a long way to go. So we are chanting, we are doing all this, but we are not advancing. It's like a car which is stuck in a mud. Your engine is on, your gas is burning, but the wheels are not moving further. So we're doing everything, but we are where we are. We are not advancing spiritually. We are not enlivened. We don't have yet developed a taste for chanting holy name, because still we are at the stage of, Adho Shraddha. So we should, and the most important is devotee. So next is a sadhu sangha. So we are not getting a proper sadhu sangha. This is lacking. We have, but we are not getting a proper advantage of that.
Even Prabhupada Maharaj said that I have seen devotees to the level of Nishtha. Beyond that, I never see. I don't know what he said.
To come to the Nishtha is a big opportunity, Baba.